Hey guys, how are you? Beautiful night. Hope you're doing good out there. And it's a little late tonight going live. It's almost in my time, Eastern Standard Time Zone. It's almost 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday evening. But I've just been relaxing after I got done with my evening walk. I took a swim in the ocean. Had some Starbucks, and I was just watching some YouTube and just kind of relaxing. This is my relaxed day because no rush to go anywhere, no rush to wake up early tomorrow. So I just relaxed and hung up 1984 in the live check-in. Hey, hung up. What's going on? How are you? How's your day? Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to everyone out there. And take good days when you can get them. And take a Friday when you can get them. Definitely. Tom Hanks. Dang, Sam, you're late. Yeah, I am late. It's almost 10 o'clock. But that's okay. And he says, great to see you, though. Always great to see you. Thank you. Kento, Sam, you the man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kento. Luke, hey, brother. I'm surviving the storm. You love and respect North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, everyone. There's a hurricane as I make this live feed hitting landfall. I haven't watched much of the news. I see some Google news feeds come up on my phone, but I can't tell if it's a severe impact or if it's hyped or if there's real damage. It's always tough to tell because the newscasters and all that, they go right out to the ocean and they're blown away. And so you never know if it's real, if it's exaggerated or what. I haven't been watching enough, so hopefully that everyone is safe. I mean, obviously I know it's real and I know that people are affected, but I'm not sure the extent of it. Ice thesis. Sam, what are the best spots in Florida? Well, to me, anywhere by the beach. It's oh, excuse me, I got something out there. To me, it's anywhere by the beach. I'm a coastal guy. I got to be by the beach. To me, it's the whole reason I'm in Florida. Because certainly Florida is a huge land. If you go inland, there's a lot of cows and when I say cows, I mean like livestock. It's farmland. But I didn't come to Florida to see the farmland. I came to Florida to be on the beach with bikinis and see milfs and palm trees. That's the truth. People don't want to hear that sometimes, but that's the truth. Snow Dog, hello Sam, hello to you, brother. Love and respect. Joshua, hello to you. Ice Thesis, happy to get through the week. Yeah, it's Friday and it does feel good to get through a week. And we'll continue to wake up early. Well, that's wisdom. I agree with that. Snow Dog, I hope everything is well in Florida. It's great. It continues to get better and better to live in Florida. It continues to get better and better to live out of my car. Everything, in that manner continues to get better. And for that, I'm thankful. I really am. And you just make the most of each day. I'm just trying. I got something. I don't know if I burn the inside of my mouth. That's what I'm trying to feel. But overall things are good in my part of the world, and I like that. And Snow Dog says the MILF game always the key in Florida. Yeah, I mean the MILF game is everywhere, but the more you get involved, look, I think the big part of my happiness is my singleness. Again, most people don't want to hear that because most people are in a relationship. So when I say stay single, they look at their mate and then they look at me like turn this fucking guy off. I don't want to hear that. But the truth is, life is easier single, in my opinion. You only got to deal with yourself. Most people don't want to deal with themselves. They want to deal with somebody else, so they distract themselves from their own work. But I think life is easier for me because I'm single. Definitely knowing my personality. Now, do I see a beautiful girl once in a while? I say, damn, I would like to, do this and this and that. Yeah, but I've been with girls. I've been in relationships, and I know that it's just like fried chicken. When I go in Publix and I smell fried chicken and I see somebody carrying out the 12-piece fried chicken, I said, damn, that's sexy. But I know after they eat that fried chicken, I know what's going to happen. Heartburn and regret. So when I see a hot MILF, I say, damn, that's sexy. But I know what's going to happen after I have that MILF. Heartburn and regret. So what do I say? I say stay single, but do what you want. Never forget it. The ice thesis. Up north, that cold weather is definitely coming. Yeah, I mean, to me, 70 degrees is cold. I can't take it. That's why I never want to go back up north. 70 degrees, I'm freezing. Forget about 30, 40, negative below. Forget about. You're a smart man to be in Florida. Haha. Well, thank you. Enjoy the beautiful oceans. You have some of the best beaches in the world here in Florida. Have you noticed a difference in sleeping in New Jersey and sleeping in Florida? Well, the difference is, as far as sleeping, it's actually at this time of year in New Jersey, if you are nomads, you sleep better in New Jersey because it's cooler at night. And it's like you snuggle up a little bit, but you're not freezing. Now, obviously, in the winter, it's worse in New Jersey. But spring and fall, if you were going to sleep in your car or van, that's the best time to be in New Jersey. But to me, that ain't worth it. Ice thesis. Relationships can hold people back like a chain. Oh, they are. I mean, that's what you've heard it referenced. That when you get married, it's like a ball and chain. And it is. Look, you talk to most people that have been married for a long time. What do they usually tell their kids? Don't get married too early. Why do you think they tell their kids don't get married too early? Because they hope that they wait a little bit and then they come to their senses. But again, look, some people are meant to be in relationships. I don't want to get negative, but this is my story, and this is what I feel. Connor. Hey, bro, Connor, what's going on? Meadow, the beautiful Meadow with kittens and fishes and a new boyfriend and a new promotion. Good to see you, Meadow. Good to see you. Connor. Hey, Meadow. Don't you be hitting on Meadow, Connor, but love and respect. Well, what was I going to pick about tonight? I mean, it's kind of late. I always try to pick a topic. In life, you always got to have some structure. If you don't have any structure, what you're going to do is just flounder around. Sometimes that's okay. I mean, on a Friday night, that's okay, and that's how I kind of feel. And then that, in addition to, I feel like I burnt the roof of my mouth. I can't focus because I'm trying to. I don't know if it's from the coffee that I had or what. But isn't that annoying? But the structure topic that I picked was live where you want to live. I think that's so important. And I go back to the episode of the Kardashians when, at that time, Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, was sharing with his family. I think at that time, Rob was moving out of the house. And he was saying what his father told him when he was young is find out where you want to live and then build your lifestyle around that. And that always stuck with me because I think that's wisdom. I think you should really find out where you want to live and then figure out how you can build a lifestyle around that area. Because again, that's what I talk about when I talk about quality of life. When you get off of work, if you're living where you want to be, you have a different enjoyment of life. When you get out of work and you hate where you're living, you hate your house, you resent your house now. It doesn't matter how many renovations you do, you just look at your house and you're not inspired. You resent your neighborhood, you resent your neighbors, you resent everything, and you're just dragging ass through life. I think you got to evaluate that, because when you're young, you're living your parents' dream. When you're young, from 1 to 18 until however long you stay at your parents' house, you're living your parents' dream. Your parents had you because they wanted to have you. You didn't say, look, I want to be born. Your parents chose to have you. They dictated how they were going to raise you. They picked the house. They picked the neighborhoods. They picked the state. And so, like, when you become an adult, 18 and 20, like, when you're 18, you're kind of distracted. You're trying to, you got pressure to go to college. You got pressure to figure out a career. You got pressure to be an adult. The last thing you're thinking about when you're 18 to 25, you're not thinking about, well, all right, now I'm an adult. Now I have to pick which state I want to live, or what country I want to live in. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about at 18. Most people, I know some people that migrated to the United States very early, and so I give them credit. But I can only share my story. At 18, you're thinking about, all right, I got to go to college, I got to do whatever, and then I'm going to buy a house somewhere, maybe even near my family, because it's just like it's a embedded expectation that you're going to grow up, you're going to live somewhere by your parents, somewhere by your relatives, somewhere by the people you know, even if you have no family, and this is the life that I live. And then, in your 30s, mid-30s, something kind of clicks, like, what am I doing here? Because I think in your 30s, that's when the light bulb starts to come on. I think in your teens and 20s, you're driven by hormones and you're driven by trying to figure out the world. In your 30s, in mid 30, you kind of start to settle in a little bit, and light bulbs start to come on like half my life is over. And for the first half of the year, for most of it, I was living a life that my parents designed for me. And then you also just fall into the trap that society and peer pressure designed for you. All right, I gotta get career success. I gotta buy nice things to impress people, and I gotta show that I've made it. And then when you get to 30, you look around and say, "Oh shit!" For most of for most of my life, I didn't really design my life. It was designed for me. And even when I had the opportunity to design my life in my early 20s, I was doing it based on what other people thought I should do, what would impress them, what would make them happy. So I think really in your 30s, and hopefully earlier, if you can get this message here tonight, is deciding where you want to live, what state, what town, what type of house, no house, RV, van, Jeep. Deciding really where your home state is, where your life is going to begin to take root, I think is key. And I don't think you should wait until retirement to live that life. I don't think you should spend most of your life in misery and then at 65 try to come down to Florida or wherever your Florida is. Why? Because you just wasted 3/4 of your life. I'm not trying to tell you, look, how do you determine where you live? You can get a job anywhere if you adjust your lifestyle. And certainly if you can get a remote job, that's the best. But I think you should put serious consideration into this. And then we'll just get back to live feed and we'll just have a fun Friday for whatever it's worth. But I think in life you need to take serious consideration, serious stock into looking at what state you live in, why do you live there, and where do you want to live? And then start making decisions. Because I think that matters. I know that matters from my own experience. And that's what I want to share with you tonight. All right? Rattle it down. Had to return to the city I left to tie up loose ends. I've been there. It was painful. Yep, it's always the most painful at the end because you can't wait to get the hell over with it. Had to remember what you said. You left for a reason. Forward. That's a great point. Anytime you're tempted to go back, remember why you left. Remember why you left the state, city, or town, and remember why you left a bad relationship. You left because it was bad, and you decided you wanted to move on. Don't start to remember it better than what it was. Snow Dog, you are right about resentment. Phew, very powerful. Yep, totally. Live where you want to live. That's right, and you have a better life. That's true. Amen. Thank you, Snow Dog. Resentment is a very dark cloud in your life, and I've been there. And yep, you got to go forward, and you got to make changes. Luke, are you an animal lover? Yes. Would you ever consider having a dog? I had a dog, and my dog passed away. I had a dog for 10 years. I would never have a dog with this nomad life. No, not unless I had an RV and I was fully self-sufficient with my funds and I didn't have to work. You can't work a full-time job even if you had a house and have a dog. I mean, I worked a full-time job. I had a dog, I had a house, and I spent a lot of time with my dog, but that was very challenging. And forget about it. If I added the element into the fact that I didn't have a house, no way. It's not responsible, not unless I was retired or just living off investments. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. But again, everyone should do what they want, is my opinion. And I probably would never get a dog again, ever. Why? Because they're a lot of work. My dog was a loving blessing, and I still at times cry over her. She was my only love. But what I will tell you is they're a lot of work. They're a pain in the ass. And when they get older, it's too much. Dealing with the world, dealing with yourself, and dealing with a dog is too much. They're lovable. They can be an emotional support system. But, it's too much, and it does also become a little bit of a distraction. That's why they're an emotional support, because they become an distraction. And at the end of my dog's life, why it was really tough, because I was like starting to get my life together. I was starting to get my health together and change my life, and for the majority of my dog's life, I was just a glutton, because I bought her. I got my dog, I think in my mid-20s, when I was like, all right, I did going out. Now I just want to be a homebody. I just want to eat whatever I want to eat. I want to be a recluse. And I got my dog, and for like, 8 of the 10 years out of my dog's life, I was just a recluse. I just ate food and just took my dog everywhere, and I loved it. It was great years. I don't I don't resent them. I don't regret them. But what I can tell you is at the end, at my end of the dog's life, the past 2 years, I was trying to get my life together with my health, my well-being, and just my whole mindset. And my habits were changing. I was waking up early, I was walking, I was getting in shape. And you could do some of that with your dog, but some of that work is just the work of your own life, and you need time dedicated to self-care. And when you have a dog, some of the times allocated to self-care can't go to you. It has to go to your dog. Just like in a relationship, you don't have all your time. You have to allocate that. That's why most people in a relationship don't have good self-care. That's why I say, look, if you don't really want to be in a relationship, don't. And the same thing with a dog. A lot of people who have a dog aren't exercising good self-care because you only have so much time. But I'm not saying don't get a dog, but what I'm trying to say is their work, their relationship. And so for me, understanding that now at a mature place, I don't regret having a dog. It was a loving, beautiful thing. And my dog, I was blessed to have my dog. And a piece of your soul dies when your dog dies, and you never get it back. But what I could tell you is, for me to just, after sharing all what I just shared, there's no reason for me to get another dog. And when you get a pet, all you're doing is signing up for a lot, some happiness, a lot of responsibility, and basically, for the most part, you're going to outlive your dog. And so you're just signing up again for all that whole cycle. I mean, I don't want to sign up for that again. It's just too much. And so that's kind of how I feel about that. And then in basics, are you too busy doing your own thing? Yeah, I just kind of broke that down. It's a good point, though, that you really don't have time to take care of it. That's 100% true. Yeah, and I kind of just broke that down. That's a good question. Hey, Mary, how are you? Mary Lyons, you rock. Well, I appreciate that. You rock, too. Thank you. Jada, what is a MILF? A mom I would like to F. A mom I would like to fuck. Period. That's it. Now, people say, oh, my God, you said the word fuck. You want to have sex? Yeah. How did that mom have kids? She got fucked. Okay? Look. Come on now. I mean, but some people get offended by that and they thumbs down because they don't want to, they're the same people that go to church and act like they never watch porn or they had never had sex. Let me tell you something. I spent a lot of time in a church game. You know who's having the most sex? People in church. Okay? Total disaster. Until they get too overweight and then they're not having any sex and then sex offends them. Look, come on. Sex is part of human nature. Okay? King David, the people they read the scriptures from were having adulterous affairs. Okay? And, sex is part of life, man. So I don't understand why people get offended. I mean, I could certainly understand why people would get offended of forced sex or molestation or rape. You should get offended. That's not right. But like having sex with like somebody or wanting to fuck somebody, I mean, come on. I mean, and that's the problem. Like, people can't have like an honest conversation. Look. Every time you see somebody attractive, what do you think of? I'd like to have sex with them. I don't think like I would like to read a book with them, but I also don't think I don't want like a real relationship. I'm just looking, just like most girls, women go to Target, they just look. That's all I'm doing. I'm just looking, So what's the difference between you going to Target and looking in every aisle, and and me going to the ocean, or me going to the mall and just looking at yoga pants? I'm just looking. Okay, don't be mad at me. A lot of people mad at me. They don't like that word MILF. They don't like the word fuck. Okay, but Jada been married 6 times, I think. You think she didn't get fucked? Hell yeah, she got fucked. I mean, that's part of life. Okay, now some people get offended about that. And that's just the reality of life. But that's okay. Jada, no need to explain, my dear. You've been married 6 times. I know there ain't no need to explain. You know what I'm saying? This is part of real life. More people should have this conversation when they're young. Why? Because then maybe it will stop some of like the taboo around it. A lot of times people just make something a taboo, then people want to do it more. Like, you raise a kid or something, you tell them, don't date this person, don't do that. Well, they go do that. Just speak the truth on it. Luke, I agree with you, my brother. So many people try to get success and wealth to impress people, and that really, in the end, don't care to begin with you. You come into the world naked, you leave naked. Yeah. And there's a season of your life, look, when you're young and you're impressionable and you want to, it's just part of growing up. So and that's part of a season of life. So it's not to be resented or to be looked down upon. I mean, it's just part of growing up, and you have to go through it. You can't, you can't skip that part. Hopefully you can curve it, meaning you can learn it a little bit early and like kind of curve over it. but it's part of life. Luke, so live your true soul. No, I agree with that. I mean, look, the quicker you can just be yourself in life and not live on the expectation of others. Some people don't want you to use the word MILF, so now you got to make a video that doesn't inspire you, and you can't be yourself. And the same people that don't want you to say it are the same people that have had sex hundreds of times. But now they don't have sex anymore because now they're out of shape. So now MILF offends them. Yeah, it's just a disaster out there. Now it's a little bit late, so I'm a little bit cranky. But I mean, this is the truth. I mean, you guys know I feel this way. So, it is what it is. But it's all part of the journey of life, guys. L12FO, hello, all. Happy Friday, L12FO. Good to see you. You walked in just at the right time. We're talking about MILFs. And I hope you're doing good. How was your day, L12FO? It's a good time, man. Good time. Well, we were blessed in Florida. We escaped the hurricane. We got to be thankful. Luke, brother, I had a big German Rottweiler. I miss my big guy so much. I can feel you. Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. It's like losing a kid. Jada, cranky, hanky, panky. Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, look. And what do I recommend to get away from the crankiness? I mean, watch a little porn, masturbate, and go to bed happy. A lot of people would be a lot more uptight, a lot more happier. But what will people do tonight? People will stay up all night watching YouTube, watching Building 7 fall from 18 years ago and trying to figure out why the world's so evil. You should just watch some MILF porn and go to bed. That's the problem with this world. That's why a lot of people are sick. That's why. But, I can only plant to see with you guys. I really, I can't force this on you, but, the world is what it is. It's a mixed bag. L12FO. Great day, very productive. It feels good to be productive and busy. How was your day? It was good. It was good to have the end of the week. Work's been a little bit busy, but I'm thankful for it. Today was payday, so that's what makes it all worth it. Because, like I say, you need money, and it's just you got to work for it. And unless you get fortunate, where you find another way. Luke, he was the true wingman. Your dogs are a blessing. He got me mad girls. Oh, I got a few like that too. It's true. Ladies love that big guy. Yeah, ladies love dogs and kids. It was so funny. I had a girl over one night and she was sniffing, testing her. Yeah, I tell you, yeah, because they know. I mean, dogs see the world through their nose and through their ears. Their eyesight is very below average. So they smell their way to things and they listen. Those are the sensitive hearing parts. Connor, what's up, Connor? Go to the beach today? I was swimming today. Every day I try to go to the beach, and every day I'm in the ocean, just about. So yes, I was. It was magical. There were some extra people there because it was a Friday, so I'm sure some people got off of work and said, Friday people are just a little bit more relaxed because they know they don't have to get up tomorrow. And even if they get up early, there's not the same mindset because it's just, it's a relaxing day. How was your day? It's late in England, man. How's everything going? What do you got planned for the weekend, Connor? Take your lizard to the beach? Is there beaches in England? I went to laugh out loud. Is that what I missed? You missed a lot. How to meet MILFs? Well, how do you meet MILFs? You get a dog. That's number one. 2 is you can get a baby carriage. That's number 2. And 3 is just be the simple guy. Be the simple guy that makes them laugh. I remember I met a lady one time, and she was married for a second time. I said, why the hell did you get married for 2 times? And she goes, well, this guy made me laugh. Make a girl laugh. There you go. But then after a while, don't make her laugh, because after a while, what she thought was funny will annoy the shit out of her. Keep your mouth shut and just fix things around the house. I remember that from the movie Postman with who was that guy from The Bodyguard? What was that actor from The Bodyguard? The guy from The Bodyguard. He did a movie called The Postman, and it was about this postman. He was a nomad, and he was a nomad in the olden times, when the country was first developing, and he would go around from state to state delivering mail, and the government had collapsed. Kevin Costner, thank you, Zakia. And I want you guys to watch that movie, The Postman. He would go around, I think it was like kind of fictional or whatever, but it was in the United States, and it basically took place in older times, and the government had basically collapsed or close to it, and he was delivering mail from town to town as a nomad. And like having the postal uniform was like the last form of government. And people were inspired when they saw him because they thought like society was in complete chaos and there was no structure, there was no more government. And so he gave people hope when he would come in town. Like, no, the government. And at that time, postmen were considered. There was no email, internet. Postmen were like, people would love to get the news from across the world and get letters. So he would go to each town, collect letters, and he would get tips. He'd get be able to stay for free because people would welcome him with hospitality. So once you watch the movie in full, you'll realize that basically he was putting up a show just to basically get free accommodations. He was a nomad, and he had thought like the world had collapsed too. But what I remember from that movie was he had went to one town, and there was a loving couple that couldn't have a kid. And so they saw this man, this postman, as a non-committal guy that can impregnate the wife, because the husband in this town that Kevin Costner was visiting, the husband couldn't get the wife pregnant. And at that time, just like in undeveloped societies today, to have kids was a way to survive. So they wanted to have a kid, but the husband couldn't impregnate the wife. So they asked Kevin Costner, the postman, the nomad who was lying, they asked him, could you impregnate my wife? At first he was like, nah, I ain't doing that. But then eventually, he hung around long enough, I don't know, he was drunk or whatever, and he did. But then eventually she resented him. And he was like, I don't understand. I used to make you laugh. Everything I used to say was funny. Now everything I say, even if it was the same exact thing, now you resent it. And that's what happens. Now this is a MILF lesson too. You make the MILFs laugh, but then after a while, you just shut up. Why? Because after a while, the same thing that once made them laugh will make them resent you. Make them laugh in the beginning, then shut up, then fix stuff around their house, then be their pet slave. Will I do that? Hell no. That's why I'm staying single, because that's what happens. That's what happens. Eventually, that's what happens. They want control. They want domination. I will not play that. I will not partake in that. Okay? There is no such thing as equal relationship. Most part, everyone's trying to get the upper hand. Everyone, for the most part, it's a disaster out there, guys. Stay single. Watch MILF porn. Don't date a MILF. Watch MILF porn. That's what I say. Do you want to hear that? No, you don't want to hear that. Okay? But that's okay. I'm trying to give you real life lessons. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to throw you a life raft when everyone else is leading you astray. Okay? Love and respect. Connor, it's 3:14 a.m. Oh, you up late? You definitely watching MILF porn. Maybe lizard porn. I got home about 1 a.m. I went out with some friends. Well, that's good. He's 20 now. And we were just driving around and went to McDonald's. I used to do that and stuff. I remember that. That's okay. Yeah, we had beaches. Good job. Thank you, Zaki, again for saying Kevin Costner. I was trying to think of his name. L112, Kevin Costner. Thank you, too. Yeah, Bodyguard, great movie. One of my favorite movies. Life stuff. How do some other nomads you have met make money in order to sustain their lifestyle? I haven't met any other nomads other than on YouTube. They basically pander. And most of the ones I see on YouTube, they ask for donations in one way or another, whether it's directly, whether it's PayPal, and they do seasonal work and they live in poverty. I know people have YouTube channels. I see they say it. They live in poverty basically. I don't want to live like that. So I don't know any in real life, only on YouTube. And it doesn't matter if you're a nomad or you live in a house. At the end of the day, look, you need money. So how else you can work remotely. Those jobs aren't easy. It took me a long time to obtain one, and it's still a lot of work. You can be an entertainer on YouTube. Like I say, for every million views I get $1,000. Okay, it took me a year and a half to get 1 million views, basically. YouTube revenue. You'd have to basically ask for donations. Then when you ask for donations, you're a church. And then when you're a church, what do you have to do? I've been part of a church like that. There was somebody that was doing some reckless stuff, and we went into a leadership meeting and said we have to be very careful when we correct them because they're a big donor. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means let's say I take super chats, live chats. I come in here and someone donates to me every live chat. Someone donates to me $100. Okay, over the course of 2 months. Now I budget my lifestyle based on that $100 every time I go live. It's part of my lifestyle. But now all of a sudden, best friends become strangers. Nas said it best. All of a sudden, someone gets offended. This person that donates to me gets offended that I use the word MILF or I do something that offends her, and she corrects me or he corrects me. And I say, now I can't say go kick rocks. Why? Because now I got to think about it. If I tell this person to go kick rocks, there goes my $100. I built my whole lifestyle around it. This is what happens with any donation. So now what happens? I have to hold back on being myself. In a creative space, that's a problem. In a business space, that's not a problem because any business you do, that's part. But most people treat YouTube like a business, not a creative space. But that's the problem with using your creativity as your moneymaker. Creativity in business, it's very hard to keep it totally genuine. And that's why people like Trump, they feel like he wasn't political, he was straightforward. When you mix money and creativity, your creativity will never be authentic because you can't, you're thinking about the dollars at the end. So that's the best way I could answer that thing. Gilbert, I feel you. Luke had a rust colored golden retriever. He had cancer and had to be put down. Broke my heart. Yeah, I don't wish that on anyone. Putting down your dog, one of the worst things in the world. So love and respect. Sam dog, Snow dog. Sorry, Sam. Just say MILF game is dangerous. Look, at any time you're in a relationship, dangerous. But MILF game definitely dangerous. Why? Because you're already dealing with somebody that's been through it once. So, one is, here's another pro tip, guys. If you are going to date a MILF, never bring up their divorce. Only let them talk about it. If you bring up the divorce, they're going to say, why you keep bringing it up? It's painful. I don't want to relive that. Okay. So let them share about it when they're ready, but don't ask them about their divorce too many times. I'm trying to help you guys out if you really want to get in the MILF game here. Some of you guys are just acting like you want to get in, but you're not ready. Do not bring up the divorce. Okay. Don't try to tell them anything about their children. Just listen, fix stuff around the house, and be eye candy. You're there for that purpose. You are not there to build a life with them. Okay. And that's most MILFs. Okay. If you're dealing with someone who wants to remarry and re-engage and all that, you're in a whole nother level. Okay. Now, do I want you to even get? Now, I'll never get involved in that level. When I talk about the MILF game, I'm talking about somebody who is trying. I'm talking about Jennifer Lopez, Boy Next Door MILF game. Okay. I'm talking about she wants to feel pretty again, and you're going to be like the Weeknd song, "Pretty." You know what I mean? You're going to make her feel pretty again. And your job, okay, I'm not talking about like you're going to get married for the third time or a second time. I'm not, see, I'm not in that game. I was never in that game. So I can't speak on that game. I can only speak on my own game. And what I can tell you, they all ended in a disaster. I mean, let me get to the bottom line. They all ended in a disaster. If you don't believe me, ask anybody that's in this live chat. Let's see their life experience. What do I tell you? Look, stay single and watch porn. Do what you want though. Gilbert, hey Sammy, Luke, you missed my comment. Oh, Luke, I'm sorry. What did I say? See, now if Luke was, now I got two options right now. I could tell Luke, I don't care, but I do like Luke, so I'm gonna go back and take a look. But if Luke was donating and I was living off this, now I gotta say, oh Luke, I'm so sorry. I feel bad for you. But I like Luke because Luke's a good guy. So I'm looking back right now to see if I missed his comment. I read that comment. He was a true wingman. That's the last one I see from you. And then you said I missed my comment. I got your comment. I love you, Luke. Snow Dog. I tried it once. I'll never do it again. Snow Dog, you already know what it is. Connor's laughing. Good job, Connor. It's 3 o'clock. He just got back from McDonald's. I've been there. We went to explore an abandoned house. Yeah, I've been there. Yes, I'm not mad at you. Luke, never mind. You better. Oh, okay, good. See, Luke, I got you. Even though we don't do donations, see, I still got you because you're a good guy. Life with Steph. Thanks for answering my question. No problem. Last time I was here, I was looking for a job. I found a job, but it was at UPS. My first day was yesterday, and I was forced to quit today because my body was so sore. Okay? So back to the job search. All right, well, sometimes, look, that happens. I mean, you got to do what you got to do for you. You don't have to explain yourself to me. It's your life, and you got to do you. So I understand. I wish you the best. Gilbert, even all. Gilbert. How did I get in the back here? Kevin Costner? Luke was the actor. I feel like the Groundhog's Day. Connor? Hey. Gilbert, UPS is the worst starting out. And then he says, at Life with Steph. Well, every job is going to be the worst starting out. The job is always hardest the first 3 months. You don't really figure something out at your job when you start a new job, new company until like 6 months into it. So, and like I said, look, in my experience in life, I've worked for very low minimum wage, and I worked for high money in corporate and some things in between. And what I've learned in life is every job sucks. There's mornings where you want to throw up. To me, they're not going to pay you to, walk on the beach and to, talk sexy to MILFs. That's what I've learned in life. I mean, the whole reason, I don't know. Some people say do what you love. Look, if you can, I think I try to do that. I try to build my life, but it's very rare you're able to do that. I mean, it's a blessing. I say, look, try to do what you love. That's why I say I preach minimalism. If you live in minimalism, then you have a shot at it. It's hard. Look, I know it's a struggle out there to try to find a niche. It is. Charlotte, hey Charlotte, stay single? Question mark. Yes, good advice. Important you protect your space, so you can tell them to kick rocks. Well, and I don't want to do that hurtfully, but I'm being a little bit in jest. But you guys know what I'm saying. Love and respect. Thank you, Charlotte. Gilbert, Connor, how you feeling this evening? Luke, lizard porn. I'm surprised you caught that, Luke. Good job. There's some crazy porn out there. I mean, really, I would never watch anything. That's sick. Connor, good and great as always. Thank you. And you? Life with Steph at Gilbert. Yes, it is. I really wanted to stick with it, but I physically couldn't do it today. Foreign object. Sammy, buddy, I saw the transformation video earlier today. Oh, when I lost 200 pounds, thank you. Over the course of 3 years, all natural, plant-based diet, small steps. 3 steps getting your health together. Stop eating out. That's step number 1. Stop eating out. If right now you're watching me eating General Toys chicken in your boxers with duck sauce stains all over your shirt, it's a disaster. Okay. Or if you're eating cheese and chocolate and you're watching me as an out-of-shape MILF and you think like you may catch me on the road and I may be your boy wonder, disaster. Where does it start? It starts with stop eating out. Okay. Second, it starts with switch to whole grains. Okay, get away from the white bread. You got to go whole grain bread. Okay, get away from the regular pasta. You got to go whole grain pasta. Get away from the white rice. Got to go brown rice. Finally, eliminate or limit. I recommend try to eliminate as much as you can dairy and meat. Dairy, cheese, number 1 source of fat. Now, if you're trying to track MILFs, don't tell them that. Why? Because MILFs like chocolate and cheese. I'm telling you right now. But if you were trying to get your health together, eliminate dairy. Dairy's cheese, number 1 source of saturated fat. Dairy and animal products, no good. Okay, so don't eat out. Switch to whole grains, and eliminate meat and dairy. If you do that, you can lose 200 pounds. But it ain't going to be in 30 days. It's going to be over the course of 3 years. Okay, that's what I did. Okay, and then another 4 years of staying off. Okay, that's what I did. And grace of God, and you got to keep taking small steps, and you got to walk every day. That's what I was talking about. And then he says, holy smokes, I couldn't believe the older you was actually you. Yep, you looked older. I did. Tattoos confirmed it was you. Yes, true. Peace and love. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Foreign object. Zakia. I'm just curious, why MILFs? Why not 20-year-olds? Well, if I was dating the young girls again, we call them PYTs, okay, pretty young things. Now, I don't do the PYTs anymore because my mind stays at a different level. I was always an old soul. PYTs physically look great, but I'm an older soul. And somebody take away a leg just for that, and then they put it back. What I can tell you is, I'm an older soul, and and so once in a while the younger girls look at me. When you're old, when you're a guy, your stock goes up as you get older. You got that Richard Gere look, like you get silver fox, get gray, and girls like that. When you're a girl, as you get older, look, stock goes down. No way around that. So I could do the PYT thing, but it's just I don't know. I'm in a different zone, and I did the MILF thing, I did the PYT thing. I mean, now I just do the Sammy thing, which is I talk a little bit wild, but at the end of the day, I'm just watching porn for myself. But it's all an experience. But what do I say? It all ends in a disaster. It does. Now, if you don't believe me, ask somebody who's watching me live right now or watching my replay. They're trying to get away from their spouse because it's a disaster out there, guys. Life is hard enough by yourself. Then you add another person into the mix. Just too much drama, too much burden. That's my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with me or listen to me. I mean, don't leave a comment if you disagree too much because you're going to get blocked. But what I'm trying to say is, see, and that's why I don't want to be with anybody. I don't even want to hear like a negative comment or like somebody saying, oh, I died. Do you. I'm doing me. I'm not saying you have to live like Sammy. I'm not saying this is instructional manual on how you should live. I'm saying this is how I live. This is what I recommend. You don't have to listen to my recommendation. Okay? People recommend that you eat 2,000 calories a day. Do you listen to that? Hell no. You probably have 4,000 or 5,000 calories. So, don't be mad at me just because I'm giving you a recommendation and you don't want to follow it. This is my recommendation. Average amount. Gilbert, I'm better than yesterday. Good job. But not as good as tomorrow. All right, well, I like that positivity. L12FO. What is your favorite or most meaningful tattoo? Um, the first one I look at, I got a tattoo of Jesus, obviously. I love Jesus' example. Reminds me of just, you know, the path of life. I got my brother's keeper. I got so many. I mean, I don't know. My whole upper torso is tatted up. My whole back, my chest, my arms. So there's so many. I don't have a favorite. They all inspire me. They still inspire me. I don't regret any of my tattoos. They all speak to a part of my life. For me, somebody asked me the other day when I was in the supermarket. People ask me sometimes, "What does that tattoo mean? What does this mean?" And sometimes, like, I read it and it reminds me of why I got it and where I was mentally and how it helps me. They all have a positive overall meaning. Like, I don't have like a like tattoo like the Joker, like, with a butterfly. It's like they're all for me meaningful, inspiring things, either spiritual, inspirational quotes, or people who passed away, or something like that, something with meaning. For me, they're not like like Dr. Zeus or something like that. Nothing crazy. Connor, I'm more of a homemade kind of person. Well, I'm not mad at you, Connor. Charlotte, duck stains on your shirt. Yeah, I've been there. Believe me, I was there, and I enjoyed it for those years. That cracked me up. Good, it's good to laugh. Good job, Charlotte. Be awake. Must as well just be a vegan. Yeah, laugh out loud, and then she gave the thumbs up. Thank you. Well, what's the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian? Vegan, sometimes they say they do it. I did a video on that. Sometimes they do it for also to avoid animal cruelty. Vegetarian too has dairy products and eggs somewhat. Sometimes vegan doesn't have any of that. Just like, what's the difference between like a Baptist and a Catholic? What's the difference between a Protestant? It's just like different little dogma. At the end of the day, plant-based diet. 90% of your diet should be plant-based. If 10% of the time you want to have fish, or 10% of the time you want to have eggs or something like that, do you. But I think if you can get 90% of your diet plant-based, what you put in your body comes from earth. It's plant-based. It's not manufactured in a corporation's assembly line that is designed to addict you. There's a reason why there was a commercial that says you can't eat just one when it was talking about potato chips, because you can't. There's a reason why there's tons of sodium in Chinese food and fried chicken. It tastes great, but it blows you up. Gotta be careful out there, guys. Connor at Gilbert. If you need any prayers, then let me know. I'll pray to you for God. Connor, you were at an insane asylum last night at an abandoned house, probably doing like a Ouija board. You got to be careful. But I understand. I did both. I went to a strip club, then I went to church. So I understand. Gilbert, prayer is always good. That's right. But faith without works is dead. Never forget that too. But I believe in prayer. That is good, Connor. And everyone here, love and respect. Connor at Gilbert, thank you very much. And God bless you. And I sure I will. Connor's positive. We got love for Connor. Good guy. Man, it's annoying me that I don't know if I burnt the roof of my mouth. I'm trying to figure out how I burnt it. I don't know if it's from the coffee. Janice, what's up, Janice? My friend says, let me just move this. I'm sorry. One sec, Janice. And then she says, my friend says that butter's basically liquid fat. It's lard. Says that butter and milk are plant-based because cows eat plants. Yeah, if you want to look like a cow, eat what comes out of a cow's body. If you want to look like a cow, drink their breast milk. That's what milk is. Milk is a cow's breast milk, okay? And butter is basically like frozen breast milk with sugar and salt in it. If you want to look like a cow, eat what comes out of a cow. Okay, that's what I learned. Oh yeah, dairy, no good. Okay, and dairy is hard for the body to digest. So some people can't even eat dairy, but dairy, disaster. Okay, Dairy Queen, disaster. L12FL. I like your explanation on your tattoos. Thank you. Some people get inked on whim and regret it later. Yeah, well, even if you regret it, I mean, look, life is about regrets. Some people get married twice and they regret that. Some people have kids and they regret it. Some people buy a car and they regret it. Life, you always got regrets. You just gotta make the most of it. You gotta go forward. You can't live like that. You gotta go forward. Good job, though. L124, I love you. Be awake. I agree. I ate out of my garden all summer. Good job. And then she gave like some gardening stuff. Plant-based is the best. Good job, Connor. I would never do a Uzi board or however you spell it. I got love for you, Connor. You know it's all love. Be awake. Laugh out loud. Eat a cow. Look like one. Yeah, it's a disaster out there. Now I know I used to eat like a cow, and believe me, look at my video. I look like a cow, but I was still pulling chicks. Why? I got good personality. Okay, and here's another pro tip for you guys want to get in the MILF game. If you're overweight, it's not a deal breaker. Why? Because in the MILF game, that takes the pressure off them. No woman wants you to be in better shape than her, or 99% of women don't. I actually had one girl tell me, one lady, MILF, told me that. She goes, "Don't get skinnier than me." Was she serious? She was laughing, but she was serious, just like when I tell you a joke, but I'm a little bit serious, but laughing. She was dead serious. She don't want me getting better shape than her. Why? Because then I put too much pressure on her. And if you're dealing with MILFs, they already have one kid, so they ain't in the best shape of their life anymore. And they want to eat a little bit more because they've been struggling their whole life trying to keep their weight down. So when they're older, they want to get, and they don't want you to judge them. Now, if you're over here and you're Planet Fitness and you're like eating healthy and you're looking down at them when they order like pasta bazool or something like that, they order extra food, mozzarella sticks and all that, and you sitting there, eating a plant-based diet. They don't want to go out with you. They want to order, all the dairy products. So you gotta let them do that. You gotta accept them. Okay, that's what I talked about often. Look, if you either accept somebody for who they are, or you don't, or you move on with your life. Now I move on with my life. Why? Because I don't want to deal with any of that. It's all a big game. You guys hear what I'm saying? This is a game. You know what I'm saying. Okay, that's why a lot of you guys right now, you're by yourself and you're watching me live because it's a disaster out there. And if you don't know, you're gonna find out very shortly. Love and respect. Gilbert, I like the walk video you did earlier. Thank you, brother. L124. A man's confident and sexy. Fun. It is true. That's true. Now, sometimes my confidence got destroyed. It happens both ways. It's going to happen to you. Remember Boomerang? Shout out to Boomerang, one of my favorite movies as well, with Eddie Murphy. He was confident, smooth, and then Robin Givens got him. And with that putang, and he lost all his confidence. Does that happen? Yeah, it happens. And then you got to regain it back. And then you get with Halle Berry. And then Robin Givens wants you again. That's how life goes. It's all part of life. Joe Boss, peace, thumbs up, hello to you. Connor, do you ever watch TV or anything like that? No, just YouTube. Life with Steph. What do you mean when you say it's a disaster out there? In what way? Life with Steph, we on different pages. If you don't know what that means, I can't explain it. It's not that I'm mad at you. It's not that I'm trying to be disrespectful. But it's just like Tretch from Naughty by Nature said at the end of his song back in the 90s. If you ain't never been to the ghetto, don't ever come to the ghetto. Why? Because you're never going to understand the ghetto. Same thing when I say disaster. If you don't understand disaster, you're never going to understand it. It's something you have to live through. I can't explain it. And again, I do not mean that disrespectfully, so please don't take it like that, even though you probably will, because I understand if I was on the opposite end, I was like, who the fuck this guy? But this is all part of life. And what I could tell you is it's a disaster out there. It's a disaster. But that's all right. T-Dot. Bonsoir, Sam, if I may call you Sam. I don't know what the hell Bonsoir meant. Do you speak Italian? Nope. And any other languages? No, I wish I did. I wish I spoke Italian, Mandarin, Spanish, all that. Why? Because then I get more MILFs. But at the end of the day, all I need to know is donde estás el baño and peace and love. I speak the language of love. And, but I don't speak any other languages. It's true. Life with Steph, fair enough. It's not disrespectful. I like hearing other people's opinions. All right. Well, love and respect. Good job hanging in there. I don't know how long it's going to last with me and you, though. And this is what I say. Now, life with Steph, I hope we have a great, long relationship. But, like, what I've learned in life is if you don't speak the same language, and I'm not talking about the same dialect. Like, I'm not talking about I speak English, you need to speak English. If you don't speak the same language, it ain't going to last because you don't understand each other. Okay. Drake had that song, Now You're Talking My Language. It's like if you don't understand my mannerisms, my jokes, like initially it's intriguing. What comes after intriguing? Resentment. If you're intrigued but you don't really understand, what comes after that? Resentment. A good relationship is only built on you understand the vibe, I understand the vibe, And it's a different opinions is like good for the beginning of the debate, but after the debate is over, everyone hates each other, and no one wants to compromise. No one. You think people want to compromise? Please, no way. Now look, if we're facing World War III, let's compromise. But if we're just talking about like I want to keep you in my life, let's not compromise. Let's just go our separate ways. Why? Because life's too short to deal with that. I ain't dealing with that. That's crazy. Hey Rash, what's up, brother? Love and respect to Vancouver. Hello, Sam. Hello to you. Do you have some key short points one would use on a 30-year-old woman to explain the minimalist lifestyle? Something to soften women's expectations of having large house and fast cars. No, you're not going to be a woman's. Not all women. So you can't make, because there's plenty of women here that want to be a nomad, but many women just have a nature to nourish, to nest. You're often going to hear that women like to nest, especially when they're getting ready to have a kids. They have that. Many, not all, because again, that instinct. Hey, Rash, what I could tell you, brother, is you're looking to get into a commitment. I can't give advice on that game. I'm not a commitment guy. I'm looking to be the guy who, after the commitment guy doesn't work out, they just want someone to go to dinner with. That's me. Okay, so I don't need to sell them on this life. What they do is they ask me about this life because they're intrigued. Now, what comes after intrigue? Resentment. Because it's not going to work out long term. But it ain't going to work out for them long term with a nice house, a nice car, and a tall guy with a nice ass either. I'm there to pick up the pieces when they fall, get her re-inspired with life, but not make a commitment. So I can't give you advice on the commitment game. Different game. So love and respect. Luke, brother, been reading so much about how your internal gut and healthy bacteria in your stomach is truly influential for how your overall health is. A plant-based diet was definitely recommended. Yeah, no, I mean, it's very simple. I agree with that. HVAC Genius, what's up, brother? I was number 12 to click like. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your support, HVAC Genius. Are you in the HVAC business? A lot of work for people in the HVAC business down in Florida. L12FO. Maybe our opinions or outlooks or love relationships are a result of past experience. What do you think? Heart emoji. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely were a mixture of our experiences. There's no way around that. But then certainly as an adult, we create our experiences, right? So we have some foundational things, but then we also, as an adult, we have the ability to create our own experiences and to create our own destiny to a certain point. So I think it's a mixed bag. But I definitely think the origins of how we begin in life and the experiences we see and then what is an adult, how much we choose to branch out, I think that all plays a part in our perspective. I think travel broadens the perspective. I think being around different types of people broadens your perspective. Now, once you know yourself, then you're going to form an inner circle based on similar perspective. You're not going to have an inner circle where there's not a similar perspective, because it doesn't make sense. A broad perspective is more or less based on your experiences, your travel, your associates. Your inner circle is more or less a support system so that you have enough encouragement to deal with the world. You don't want to deal with the world and deal with your inner circle. Fight both, so that's what I would say. A Rash, speaking of World War III, Russia and China just did a 300,000 man war game with 30,000 tanks. They've been playing war games since the beginning of time. All countries do it. It's always been like that. Always will be like that. So none of that surprises me. And it can happen. Anything can happen anytime. But, it's just the way life is. It's just the way society is. I don't spend much time thinking about it because, all it does is steal your time. You can't control it. All you can control is being positive and working on your own life. And that's, rich people declare war. Poor people fight war. Doesn't matter what country you're from. Rich people declare war, poor people fight it, and it's been going on since the beginning of time. Because if World War III really hit, who has the most to lose? Rich people, not poor people. Okay, and poor people fight the wars. Rich people don't want to lose their power, because if Armageddon really came and the world reset, who would have the most to lose? Rich people, rich and powerful. That's why, So they wouldn't really want like the world to really change. So they just use poor people or poor middle class people. They control them with propaganda, with patriotism, with religion, and they pull the emotional strings of people, and no matter what time of history, that's just the way it plays out. Charlotte, I am proudly the oldest in this chat. That's okay. So humor me. What is a MILF? It's a mom I would like to fuck. Okay, good job. T Dot, try it this way. Bo na si rare. You just said good evening. Bon appetit. All right. Well, in what language? Is that in Italian? Be awake. Sam, have you ever been married? Nope, and don't want to be. Thank you, though, for the question. Have you? HVAC Genius. Yes, sir. HVAC Business Central. Good job. Oh, in Polk County? But COPD is got me slowed down. What does that mean, COPD? Connor, what has your sex life been like since a nomad? Well, my sex life for the past couple of years has been nothing but masturbation, brother. I stopped that game a little while ago. That's just what it is. Yep. Data Geek. Hey, Sam. Hope you had an amazing Friday. Payday, Friday, laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, payday is what makes it all work out. And you need money. No matter how simple you live, you need money. I often say that. But, sometimes it is tempting to do something different or just to try to start something. But you always need a consistent stream of revenue. So true. But that being said, overall, it's a good Friday, and I'm very thankful. And it's a good week. Just be as thankful as possible. Keep pushing forward. And, try to position your life on where you want to live. It makes life a little bit better because life's going to bring enough heartache, and you don't want that. L12FO, Charlotte. I remember the first time I heard MILF 2. I also laughed. Yeah, there's also DILFs out there, dads I would like to fuck. So there's both. Believe me, there's plenty of women that see a dad, they see a tall dad with gray hair like Richard Gere, treating their kids right. Go, oh man, that guy has great qualities. He can fix my stove. So look, everyone, it's just human nature. Now, I'm joking a little bit, but it's true. It's just human nature. Most people have committed adultery. Many people. Presidents, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, both adulterous men. They run the world. Both men, Republican and Democrat, committed adultery on their wives. How many times did Donald Trump been married? How many affairs did Bill Clinton have? They were on top of this world. It all ends in a disaster, guys. Okay? And even if you're in a loving relationship and totally faithful, one of you is going to die before the other. Okay? And so I had a friend of mine. He loved his wife, faithful to his wife, and his wife loved him. They actually had a great relationship. And they were in their late 50s, and she got cancer. And he was a great caretaker, and he took care of her to the day she died. And the last day, he took her home to his house, and I was there. And basically, they said, look, there's nothing else we can do, so he just took her home with oxygen machine, and we prayed that night, and she passed away in the morning, and I saw his soul die. And so even if you're in a loving, and I'm being honest here, you guys don't want to hear honesty, I know, but even if you're in a loving relationship, the best case scenario for a loving relationship is you grow old together, but then you have to watch one of them die. You have to watch your mate die. Very rarely are both of you like the disastrous movie, what was the movie? Notebook. Very rarely will it end like the Notebook, like where you'll die in each other's arms in a nursing home. But even the Notebook, the movie The Notebook, the husband went through hell in that nursing home. When his wife wouldn't remember him, he was crying like a baby because he was getting frustrated. Am I saying is it better to not love than to love and loss? Well, I mean, I've loved, and so I'm glad I experienced that. But then after a certain point, I just think you're better off being single. That's my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with my opinion. I mean, don't leave too many comments how much you disagree with it. But I'm just sharing, okay? L12FO. Maybe Charlotte is a gilf. Grandma would like to. Yeah, I've seen some of those. There's some porn out there with that. I'm not mad at that. Charlotte, no. Well, Charlotte, I'm not mad at you. But Charlotte has sex. I mean, Charlotte, if you're older, that just means you had sex more times. I mean, everyone's, look, it's part of life. It's not a disrespectful statement. It's human nature. Connor, I don't know how anybody could cheat. Oh, Connor, gotta get a girlfriend. You can keep the lizard. You gotta get a girlfriend. You gotta get a lap dance. Okay, Zakia. People die at all ages. That's right. She says her husband died at 34. I'm sorry. No jokes about that. I can understand the pain, love and respect. Luke, laugh out loud. Connor cracks me up. I know. Connor, we love Connor. Luce, forgive me if I say the name wrong. Lucidity, quest. I say quest. Everything in this life will pass away like a dream. Well, I agree with that. Yeah, don't hold on too tight. Totally agree with that. Appreciate, respect, and be thankful, but don't hold on too tight. Totally agree with that. Good comment. L1 Oops, Sam, if I offended you, Charlotte was just kidding. No offense. I'm fine. Thank you, though. Data Geek. Her to see if I can help them do their job. Okay? T-Dot. Unless both are in a car crash together, then there is a probability of both dying together. Yeah, Connor, at Luke. Wait, what happened? I don't know what we're talking about now. Charlotte, no offense, was funny. Good, it's good to laugh. Don't be too uptight. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, let me end the live feed. It's getting late. I got love for everyone. Do you, be you, treat people right. That's it. Keep laughing. And we'll go from there. One day at a time, guys. Love and respect.